Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. As part of my yoga series that I had promised you, today I will be talking about a collection of 5 yogas which are also called as the PANCH Mahapurush yogas, and these 5 yogas, or the PANCH Mahapurush yogas as they are called, are a great set of yogas given to extremely fortunate people. And these yogas have the capability to be able to confer greatness on the individual who has this yoga at the time of their birth, in their birth horoscope, and that's why it is called as the PANCH Mahapurush yogas. One of the reasons it is also called as a Mahapurush yoga is because it is both a boon as well as an opportunity, and only an opportunity which is utilized against all odds, against all challenges, can somebody become a great person. Nobody is given greatness at the time of one's birth. Nobody is conferred greatness. Nobody is called that you are granted the boon of greatness. If you see, even the greatest of great people, even from our mythological characters or those people who have manifested those greatness even in real life, whoever you talk about, whether you talk about Nelson Mandela, you talk about Martin Luther King, you talk about Mahatma Gandhi, you talk about any great leader around the world, you will find that they became great, or their names lived long after they were gone, only because of an ultimate struggle and some sacrifices they had to do in the name of the goal or the target that they wanted to achieve and they set out to achieve. So a PANCH Mahapurush yoga is thus a huge opportunity given to you through the yoga given to you, the boon given to you. But if you are not able to manifest the boon well, if you are not able to utilize the yoga well, then of course you are spoiling the yoga. Now, firstly, how does one spoil the yoga? One spoils the yoga by firstly not identifying the yoga itself. If you don't know a boon is given to you, you will never be able to manifest it. Second, if you know a boon is given to you, but you don't know how to use it, then too you may waste the boon, you may waste the special ability that you are given because you don't know how to use it and how to put it to greater use of huge mankind that we have around us. So yogas are big opportunities given to you, not for self-emancipation but emancipation of others, helping others, and that's why these are a boon and an opportunity. Boon because you will be given some special qualities, some special abilities and special energies to be able to use the yoga. An opportunity because you will be given also a set of target. That target you will have to live by, and you will have to reach its logical conclusion. If you are not able to live by 3 things in your life, then especially the yogas, and that too the PANCH Mahapurush yogas, will not manifest for you. First thing is your attitude. If your attitude is not the attitude in line with the nature of the yoga given to you, then the yoga you weaken. Second is your intention. If your intention is not in the line of what target, what goal you can achieve using the yoga, then you will not be strengthening the yoga but weakening it. And third, your action. If your action is not in the line of what you need to do to move towards the target which you have chosen for yourself, or which the yoga allows you to choose, then too you weaken the yoga. So if you don't do these 3, then you will not be able to utilize the yoga well, you will not be able to manifest the yoga well, you will be wasting the yoga. Many people with a PANCH Mahapurush yoga ask me that why is a PANCH Mahapurush yoga not being very powerful and not giving me the results that the PANCH Mahapurush yoga should be giving. So then the first thing I ask them is questions on the line of these 3: attitude, intention and action. If they are not able to show either the attitude or the intention or the action, or all 3 put together, then of course the yoga is useless for them and the yoga will definitely be nullified. Now, what are these PANCH Mahapurush yogas? The PANCH Mahapurush yogas are about the 5 planetary entities, leaving aside the luminaries, which is sun and moon. So leaving the sun and moon aside, what are the rest of the 5 planetary energies? They are the Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Saturn and Mars. These are the 5 important planetary entities and the energies around them. Each one of them in a certain format in a planetary placements gives you a Panch Mahapurush Yoga, which means any of these planets in their own sign or in an exaltation sign in any of the Kendra houses gives you a Panch Mahapurush Yoga. So for example, if for an Aries ascendant native, if Mars is in the ascendant itself in Aries, which is its own sign, then you would say that Mars forms one of the Panch Mahapurush Yogas, which is the Ruchak Yoga. Or if Mars is in Scorpion in its own sign in say either the 4th house or the 7th, 10th or even the 1st, then too you would say that Mars is forming the Ruchak Panch Mahapurush Yoga because it's in its own sign of Scorpio in any of these 4 houses. Or if Mars is in Capricorn, its sign of exaltation in any of the 4 Kendras, 1st, 4, 7 or 10, then too you would say that Mars is forming the Ruchak Panch Mahapurush Yoga. So Mars's Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga is the first of one of the 5 Panch Mahapurush Yogas. The other 4 are the Bhadra Yoga, formed by Mercury being either in its own sign of Gemini or Virgo, or in for the case of Venus it would be forming the Malavya Yoga either in its own sign of Taurus or in Libra or its exaltation sign of Pisces. Remember that Mercury does not get exalted in any other sign but its own in Virgo. So Mercury forms the Bhadra Yoga in only 2 signs rather than 3 in any of the Kendra houses, whereas Mars forms in 3 signs either in Aries or in Scorpio or in Capricorn. In any of the 4 Kendra houses it forms the Ruchak Panch Mahapurush Yoga, and Mercury forms the Bhadra Yoga. Venus forms the Malavya Yoga, as I said, in either Taurus or Libra or in Pisces in any of the 4 Kendra houses, whereas Jupiter forms the Hamsa Yoga in its own sign of Sagittarius or in Pisces or its exaltation sign of Cancer when it is formed in any of the 4 Kendra houses. And lastly, Saturn forms the Sasha Yoga in either its sign of Capricorn or in Aquarius or its exaltation sign of Libra when formed in any of the Kendra houses. So care should be taken firstly to know that how the Panch Mahapurush Yoga is formed and using what planet and specifically in the Kendra houses. If it's not in the Kendra or if the planets is not in its own sign, then surely the Panch Mahapurush Yogas or one of these is not formed. The other is the yoga should not be spoilt by either the conjunction with a malefic, that means any of the malefics such as Rahu or Ketu should not be placed with it, or the other strong malefic. For example, if you have the Hamsa Yoga which Jupiter is forming with Cancer, in the Cancer sign for example in one of the Kendra houses, and if Saturn is placed with it in conjunction, then the Hamsa Yoga is spoiled and rendered very weak and to an extent even useless, and the person will have to work extra hard to be able to manifest the Hamsa Yoga when it is formed if Saturn gets into conjunction with Jupiter, or if either Rahu or Ketu also are in conjunction with Jupiter. With Sun and Mars, because they are friendly with Jupiter, the Hamsa Yoga is spoiled to a lesser extent, but still because of the presence of a malefic, the yoga's energy is taken away. So this has to be care has to be taken when you analyze a yoga, that the yoga should not be affected or spoiled by any malefic which is in conjunction with the yoga. In terms of an aspect, if there is an aspect of a malefic on the planet which forms the yoga, then too the yoga gets affected, but not to the extent that a conjunction with a malefic may term the yoga less strong. Now, as we said, Mars forms the Ruchak Panch Mahapurush Yoga Jupiter forms the Hamsa Yoga, Saturn forms the Sasha Yoga, Mercury forms the Bhadra Yoga, and Venus forms the Malavya Yoga. Now, what is the strength of this yoga and what does it help us to do? I'll be making a series on each of the yogas separately in detail, how the yoga manifests. But now that we are talking in general as a collective Panch Mahapurush yoga, please understand some basics. A Mahapurush yoga, when it is given to you, any of these, as I said, it's a boon, but it's also an opportunity. So the earlier you identify the yoga, it is better. And that's why horoscope analysis at the time of birth, so that the child is told by the parents and is guided in the line of yogas which is given to him, is very, very important. This was a practice which was done more in earlier times, where the life was also guided by some of the yogas, some of the placements which were in the individual's life. However, as time passed, today we see that horoscopes analysis is done only for very specific purposes and not to be a guiding factor from childhood. And we approach the astrology only in times of great challenges in our life, or also if there is a specific opportunity, specific events, for example marriage, when we match horoscopes. And so the presence of horoscope analysis in our life is not very, very limited, and that's why horoscope analysis, if it's done at an earlier age, then we would know what yogas are present in the lives of our loved ones, those who come in our life, and then we are able to guide them accordingly. So with the Panch Mahapurush yoga, it is important that the child who has the yoga is guided from his early childhood to act in the line of, or have the attitude in the line of the energy or the strength given to him through the yoga. For example, if you have the Malavya yoga with Venus, either in its own sign of Taurus or in Libra, or even its exaltation sign of Pisces, then the boon which is given to you is that you can have a very big opportunity of leading a very comfortable, luxurious, art filled, beautiful objects filled life with all the goodies that you can have. A life which has good perfumes, aroma, good foods, fine taste, everything is given to you, and an opportunity to get all these is also given to you. However, from an earlier childhood, you need to have two things because of which you can then use the yoga, strengthen it and take it to its logical conclusion. With Malavya yoga of Venus, first thing is that you need to keep good hygiene. You need to be always well groomed. That means you need to pay attention to how you look, overall how your body is, your personality is. Keep yourself fit, have focus on your personal hygiene, and lead a life of neatness, and always ensure that you are smelling good and you feeling good and you're looking good. That's the physical aspect of it. The other aspect of Venus is a planet related to relationships. In relationship, you need to be somebody who is the giver, who is the equalizer. That means you should be the one who focuses on relationships and keep them going. If anybody who has the Malavya yoga is less committed in the relationship, is manipulative, is slimy, or cheats in the relationship, or does not respect the other gender, then you are spoiling the Malavya yoga. Other thing is, if some goods are given to you in forms of luxurious objects or things are given to you, and if you don't take proper care of them in your childhood, if parents or friends give you some gifts, presents, and if you don't take care of them, then too you are spoiling the Malavya yoga. So the attitude should be of cleanliness, of hygiene, of good looks, of grooming yourself, and it should also be the attitude of focusing on relationship, being committed, being loyal, being somebody who balances relationships and takes care of your loved ones and focuses on your loved ones, and is even ready to give up something that you want for your loved ones. So relationships is the key, and grooming, hygiene, and living the life of beautifying things around you and taking care of your relationships and approaching things with a clean, hygienic mind also is the key to Malavya yoga. So if you are braced with the attitude that You need to be having an attitude of hygiene and cleanliness in grooming yourself, plus respecting the opposite gender, taking care of the small thing which are given to you, even if they are not very luxurious and comfortable. But if it's there in your neighborhood, in your surroundings, then it is your job to take care of it. Otherwise, you spoil the Malavya Yoga, you reduce its strength. And as you go forward in life, the more and more you age, the more and more responsible you need to be in your relationship, the more and more you need to take care of things, the more and more you need to groom yourself, and the more and more you need to respect the opposite gender and respect people in general. Then the Malavya Yoga is strengthened further and further, and you are able to use it, and then it starts rewarding you from time to time, gives you opportunity to be able to excel in business, in your life, in relationships. It attracts a good spouse, a committed spouse, a beautiful spouse, a well-to-do spouse, even a celebrity spouse, and it gives you riches. It gives you an opportunity of earning more. It gives you an opportunity of working with good companies, with good people, with good brands. It gives you an opportunity to do well in business, with partnership, and so forth. So each one of the yogas will bring its own strength and will bring its own energies and what it can achieve for you. With a Ruchak Yoga formed by Mars, you can become a fighter, you can go and achieve any goal that you want, you can be somebody who is a good representative and an ambassador for your country and fights for your country, stands by your values, can be in armed forces. You can also be a very strong manager of a big organization who stands by the organization, stands for the values of the organization, fights for it, and competes with the competing companies for market share, for betterment of the company. With Hamsa Yoga, with Jupiter, the boon and opportunity given to you is to be a good teacher, to be a spiritual person, to speak the truth, to be a consultant, to be a guru, and share your expertise, share your wisdom, share your knowledge with others. With Saturn, it's about being organized, being structured, being loyal, taking care of people who are working for you in your organization, in your colleagues who work under you, and leading a life of ethical values, and never cheating, never lying, never mistreating the people who work under you. With the Mercury Bhadra Yoga, it is the opportunity is given to be able to use your analytical skills, your keen eye that you are given as a strength, then your communication skills, how you brand yourself. These are opportunities given to you with the Bhadra Yoga. If you don't communicate well, if you lie, you cheat, you give out the wrong data, you don't work on how you are able to showcase yourselves or brand your company and yourself well, then you are spoiling the Bhadra Yoga formed by Mercury. Or if you are lying, if you are cheating, or if you are not able to use the analytical ability and use the service orientation that Mercury gives you well. So each planet will give you a different strength, and if you are not using the strength properly within the PANCH Mahapurush yogas, then you are nullifying the yoga, you are weakening the yoga, and then the yoga becomes useless for you. With the PANCH Mahapurush yoga, some of the greatest names who had this yoga did great things also. But sometimes if the yoga is either spoilt by the aspect of conjunction of a malefic, you can go to great lengths in doing things which are opposite to the nature of the yoga, and in fact become destructive. For example, with the Ruchak Mahapurush yoga, or become a Casanova with say for example with a Malavya yoga with Venus, or be somebody who is an investment banker with Mercury, with high analytical skills, but who serves himself and his own clients rather than look at the general good of the society. So each planetary entity is given huge strengths with the Panch Mahapurush yoga, but opportunity also to misuse it if it's in the wrong hands of people who are not able to identify what opportunity is given to them and what responsibility is given to them. So Panch Mahapurush yoga is of course a boon and opportunity, but also big responsibility given to you at the time of your birth. If any of you have the Panch Mahapurush yogas, please identify it well, please use the energies well, see in which houses it is forming, what direction it is leading, and work in the direction of the Panch Mahapurush yoga. For example, if the Bhadra yoga formed by Mercury is in the 4th house, then it is about using analytical skills for betterment of the household, or working to better the lives of others in their household, in their personal lives, in their families, working on products which will enrich their lives in the household, through either FMCGs or manufacturing and household appliances, or in wealth management or in taxation. So any of these industries can be where you can excel, because where you are serving others to improve the things around the 4th house, around domestic life. Around the 7th house, if you have a Sastra Yoga, for example, then you can be a lawyer who brings families together, who provide justice, who can be a good counselor, who can run an NGO for betterment of life of others, and you can bring relief, goodness to lives of millions of people, and enriching their lives through helping the poorest of the poor, downtrodden, and those who are not so lucky as the others. So each yoga is given strength to how to manifest it basis the house, the Kendra house that it is present in, and those who have the PANCH Mahapurush yoga should identify it well and use it well. So friend, this is my analysis about the PANCH Mahapurush yogas. I am of course going to come back and discuss each of the yogas, starting from Ruchak Mahapurush yoga to the Sastra yoga in detail in separate videos. If you looking for a personal analysis from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Please like my video, please share my video, and please subscribe to my channel. And till we meet some other time, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.